Welcome back to Philosophy Unpacked. Today, we're diving into a really beautiful and intense chapter from Nietzsche's Zarathustra titled The Great Longing.
This one feels less like an argument and more like a poem or a very intimate conversation.
It is. It's a dialogue between the speaker, Zarathustra, and his own soul. He's recounting the journey he's taken to shape and liberate it.
So he's talking to himself, essentially, but treating his soul as a separate entity.
Exactly. He begins by saying he taught his soul to see the present, today, with the same perspective as once on a time.
What does that mean? To see the now as if it were already the past?
It's about achieving a sense of detachment and perspective, to dance over the limitations of here and there and yonder.
A kind of freedom from being stuck in one place or one time.
Precisely. He then describes a process of cleansing. He says, I brushed down from thee dust and spires and twilight.
Those are powerful metaphors. What do the dust and spiders represent?
They represent old, dusty ideas, petty fears, and the cobwebs of conventional thinking that accumulate over time.
And he continues this cleansing idea, mentioning washing away petty shame and the by-place virtue.
Yes, this is crucial. By-place virtue refers to a small, conventional, second-hand morality, the kind you adopt without thinking.
So he's rejecting societal norms of what's good or shameful.
Completely. The goal is to stand naked before the sun, meaning to be authentic and free from judgment.
He even talks about strangling the strangler called sin. That's a very aggressive image.
It is. He sees the concept of sin as something that constricts and suffocates the soul. He uses a storm that is called spirit to blow all these clouds away.
So this first part is all about a radical internal purification, tearing down old structures.
Exactly. And once the soul is cleansed, it's empowered. He gives it the right to say nay like the storm, and to say yea as the open heaven saith yea.
Meaning it has the power to affirm and deny things on its own terms, with the force of nature.
Yes, it's about gaining total autonomy. He says he restored its liberty over the created and the uncreated.
And this leads to what he calls the voluptuousness of the future. That's a very evocative phrase.
It is. It's the deep, sensual pleasure that comes from knowing the future is an open field of possibility now that the chains of the past are broken.
He also gives his soul new names, like fate and the circuit of circuits. Why is renaming it so important?
Renaming is an act of creation. He's defining his soul on his own terms, not with labels given by society or religion. He's making it his own fate.
So it's the ultimate act of self-ownership.
It is. And after this liberation and renaming, the soul is fed. He says he gave it all wisdom to drink, all new wines, and also all immemorially old strong wines.
A diet of pure wisdom, both new and ancient.
And with all this nourishment, sun, night, silence, longing, the soul grows into a vine.
The vine metaphor seems central here. He describes it as exuberant and heavy, a vine with swelling udders and full clusters of brown golden grapes.
This is the state of overfullness. The soul is no longer empty or seeking. It is ripe, abundant, and weighted down by its own happiness.
But then he adds something curious. It's ashamed of thy waiting. Why would it be ashamed? What is it waiting for?
This is the core of the great longing. The soul has become so full that its new purpose, its new necessity, is to give itself away. It's waiting for someone to come and harvest its fruit.
So the longing isn't for something it lacks, but for the chance to bestow what it has in abundance.
Exactly. And this leads to a fascinating paradox. The soul asks him, which of us oweth thanks?
Right. And it continues, doth the giver not owe thanks because the receiver received?
It completely flips our usual understanding of gratitude. Here, the giver is the one who is indebted because the receiver has fulfilled their need to give.
So bestowing your gifts isn't just a generous act. It's a fundamental necessity for the overfull soul.
Yes, and receiving becomes an act of compassion for the giver. The soul's smile is full of this melancholy.
It's a melancholy born from abundance, not from lack. a longing to unburden itself.
And the text says the soul won't complain or weep because that would be a form of accusation.
So what does it do instead of weeping?
It must sing. The speaker says, "Wilt thou not weep? Then wilt thou have to sing, O my soul."
Singing becomes the outlet, the creative expression of this overflowing abundance and longing.
It has to be a passionate song, one so powerful it calms the seas and attracts what he calls the golden marvel.
What is this golden marvel? It sounds mythical.
It's described as a spontaneous bark or boat that glides over the calm seas carrying its master.
And who is the master of this boat?
He is the vintager who waiteth with the diamond vintage knife. He is the great deliverer.
The one who comes to harvest the grapes from the vine.
Precisely. This vintager is the nameless one, a figure of the future for whom songs have not yet been written. He represents the ideal receiver, the one worthy of the soul's bounty.
So the singing is what calls this future into being. It creates the conditions for the gift to be received.
Exactly. And in the final twist, the speaker reveals his last gift to the soul. That I bade thee sing. That was my last thing to give.
Wow. So the command to create, to sing, was the final act of empowerment. And then he asks again, which of us now oweth thanks?
And he doesn't answer. He just says, "Sing unto me, sing, O my soul, and let me thank thee."